That famous over-exaggeration. When you used to say, I am so bored I could die. The day on Boredom Must Die, I was so bored I looked into the future of communication. Growing up, we had wild ideas in sci-fi that led humanity to technological adaptations, such as cell phones, video calls, and massive growth in technology. Spurred by ideas from TV, movies, books, and other media like Star Trek, Star Wars, Ready Player One, Mass Effect, Pacific Rim, and many more. So, Boom, what futuristic communication device would you want if it were available right now? And I mean like holographics or like telepathy, because they totally had telepathy in Pacific Rim. Or would you want those little Star Trek?
Telepathy?
I mean, in a sense, when the pilots were connecting, they got into each other's minds to control one of the Jaegers. Or, would you want like one of the flip communicators from Star Trek?
To be honest with you, I always thought the little holograms from Star Wars were like the coolest. You know what I'm saying? You whip up your little fucking thingy McBob and then like boom, like you got the little hologram. Like they're even doing it in Destiny now. You know what I'm saying? You get the holograms to just like the torso up, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've always thought that was cool. You got like echo logs kind of from like Borderlands, right? Where it's almost like just audio communications, but you get like a representation like of their face, you know what I'm saying? It's almost kind of like a call nowadays. You know what I'm saying? But I would honestly say Star Wars is the little holograms are definitely
I mean you touched on Borderlands. I have to say my favorite character is Gage. And I was awful upset she was not in Borderlands 3. Or at least I did not see her.
They're not done with the DLC. There's a good chance she could be in there.
Oh yeah, I mean I have to hop back on and play through the DLC. No, you're good. I mean I love Borderlands. I even got like the collector's edition for 3, and I was so upset with how 3 went.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, dude, I got the chest. I have the big old chest.
The story.
What about you, Stars? What about what communication device would you want if it were available?
I mean, I think just regular communication thing. Like I agree with Boom about the Star Wars thing. Like the hologram's pretty fucking hype. Like I was always a Star Wars fan.
But you want holographics for OnlyFans. Oh wait.
Well, the thing is, I was gonna touch on Boom's thing is like I would love to have the hologram thing, but I want it to be just the like neck up. Because if I'm having a fucking day where I don't want to wear clothes, I don't want to be called on a hologram and people just see everything. So I'm just saying, I mean, I could be lazy one day and they just call me and I'll be like, I don't want to be rude and not accept the call.
Bro, what if it was like Spaceballs with President Screw where he's in the bathroom at the urinal?
Oh my God.
Yeah, like he's in there peeing. He's like, my God, what did I tell you about calling me in the bathroom?
Or watching themselves on the TV.
Oh God.
There's one in his fucking bedroom as well.
Yeah, that's right.
One literally in his bedroom.
I mean,
that's when you had those three or two girls or whatever.
Yeah, he was fooling around with those twins.
Yeah, I mean, with technology like that, you'd have to be super careful. But I mean, could any of this become reality though? Once again, we have to explain with science. A lot of this is explained with science. And you may have guessed it, quantum mechanics takes a part in this. In earlier episodes, we mentioned that mass cannot travel faster than light because it would require mass to be transformed physically. And you can't turn mass into light. It does not work that way. You can get mass to travel near the speed of light, but it cannot become the same as light. What does that have to do with information? Governed by the rules of relativity, particles either have a mass or are massless. So particles, for example, with mass cannot go faster than the speed of light. However, particles without mass can achieve the speed of light. So, Stars, I have a question for you. Do you think data has a weight to it? Do you think data physically weighs anything?
Like data? No.
No? What about you, Boom? Do you think data weighs anything?
Physically, no, I don't think it can.
Yeah, you don't think so? Data, does it have mass? It does. Surprisingly, it does. According to a computer scientist, John D. Kubakowicz from Berkeley, data bytes do have a weight, although it is extraordinarily small. It is like the smallest weight you can imagine. Data weighs
That's
about,
interesting.
right? No, yeah, absolutely. Data weighs 1 attogram, which is equivalent to 1 quintillionth of a gram. While it's insignificant, or it sounds insignificant for just 1 data byte, still has weight. So theoretically, let's say you had a device with like unlimited data capabilities. Like you had something that could hold like millions and trillions of terabytes. If you just downloaded nonstop onto that thing, it eventually might actually gain a gram or two. Um, so do you think quantum entanglement could change how we communicate and use the internet? I mean, could you imagine getting your prawn at light speed? 12,000 or 12 million K monitors and televisions, virtual headsets, a VR gear. Like boom, boom. What do you think would be the wave in the future with communications if we actually got quantum entanglement to work?
Mm, I don't know. I feel actually like it'd be a lot more like it'd be closer to modern, but I feel like I don't know, man. I would like to lean towards projections, but I feel like I'm just being biased. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about like what's going on nowadays, like a lot of
Well,
people FaceTime, right? A lot of people FaceTime instead of
right.
just regular call. So the closest upgrade to FaceTime would be to physically like, see the person.
Well, what if
But
they did that with
again,
VR,
like
dude? Like, could you imagine holographics within like a VR or a headset? Virtual
I don't
reality
know, I feel like the
holograms.
headset wouldn't sell well just simply because a lot of people don't want to simply wear a headset for calls. You know what I mean?
Uh,
You don't really, I mean, you're talking like calls like can be used for either business. You're talking about just simply calling like my mom to see like what she's doing for dinner. You know what I'm saying? If I want to swing by, like, you know what I'm saying? Type shit. Like, I, I don't know. I just like, you're talking like the simplest type of shit, not just what, we use calls for. And
well,
that's where
yeah,
I
it's
feel
true.
like that's where they're gonna lean more to is the average user. Um,
But that would, I mean,
so that's
with
what I'm saying.
quantum, like if quantum entanglement became a thing, though, like internet speeds would be, they'd be insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would get the most insane resolution. Everything would come through super fast. It would be like instantaneous. I still think I still think it would just go towards porn. I really do.
Really? Okay. Well,
You don't think so?
I mean,
I'm still on Bill Burr, man. I'm still like talking about like Bill Burr was joking how the end of the world, if AI took over, it would be with like bots. People would just have sex bots,
like
and I'm like,
sex bots. Yeah.
yeah,
Unfortunately, like I could see that. Like I
I'm
guess
totally
people
still
like
on that. I'm still totally on that whole Bill Burr
it's kind of
theory.
weird, but it's I can see it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's like Futurama, like the episode of Futurama where people, it shows Fry dating, who was it? Lucy Liu. He had a Lucy Liu bot, and he was dating Lucy Liu.
Oh,
And
Futurama. Yeah.
yeah, dude. And so basically what happened was Futurama in that episode basically explained that without any motivation to attract the opposite sex or the same sex, that people would just not do anything in life. They just stay at their house like constantly all the time. It was a funny episode. It was more satirical, it's just a goofy joke, haha.
Yeah.
But
I've
sometimes I
seen it.
question it. Like Bill Burr, I mean, that episode where he was, that Bill Burr show on Netflix, he was talking about that stuff. I was like, hmm. I was laughing at it, but I was like, at the same time, I was like, if I was an AI trying to destroy humanity, that might be the way. I digress though. What about you, Stars? Do you, how do you think that would change communications if we could just instantaneously, if things could connect no matter how far away we were?
I mean, I I wouldn't think it's any different than now, other than like you said, like we would just have better resolution and better speed. I guess it would be like instant instead of like half a second. I guess it
Yeah.
would be an
So
instantaneous. But like when we were talking about like the headsets and stuff, like I instantly just thought of SAO.
yeah, Sword Art
And like
Online, the
yeah,
anime.
when you're just laying down on the bed, but you have a headset on, you can just move in the game and stuff. So
That'd
like
be a whole different level too. Like
yeah,
we should do an episode on that, man. We should do an
yeah.
episode on like VR headsets as Sword Art Online possibility in the future. Stay
I mean,
tuned for future episodes. Like that's gonna be a thing here.
According to SAO, apparently that's only like 3 years away. Just saying.
I mean, once again, look at Back to the Future. How much shit did they say we would have by now? Yeah, where the fuck's our hoverboard, Stars?
For real, I'm still waiting. Supposed to be in the mail.
Are you still waiting? Did you actually buy one off eBay?
No.
I bet some motherfucker would just send you a 2x4 with a bunch of bottle rockets taped to it. Like, here's your hoverboard.
Probably like painted the way it is in the movie.
Like spray painted too, like just real cheap and crappy. Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, is it possible though? Is it possible for quantum entanglement, for light speed information, for just instantaneous communication? I mean, mainly the main benefit of that would be, for example, we talked previously about colonization. So if you were on Mars and we actually tapped into quantum entanglement, you could call someone on Mars and it would be an instantaneous conversation. There'd be no delay. One theory claims that if we force two particles far away from each other, it would be similar to flipping a coin. So you have 50-50, heads or tails, and then it becomes 50-75 with certain, I mean, this is depending on the accuracy where we can pinpoint the state of one of the particles. When you tear two particles away from one another, their states are going to change. They're going to be, they were dependent on one another, but they're going to change completely, which reduces our accuracy. The key to being able to encode and transmit data through the particles have to become positively and negatively charged. That's how they keep their attraction to one another. So going at insane distances like that would be very difficult to figure out the state of those particular particles. It would make the quantum state random. It would randomize it. Currently, with our capacities, humanity, and the technologies we have right now, particles will remain random. But maybe one day we will find a system to counter the randomness and the random state of the particles, allowing a new system of communication to happen. Much of the universe is still unknown to us as well. Humanity is still pretty young, and we have a lot to learn. And one day we might actually find a way for quantum entanglement to work so we can actually control or figure out a way to observe the states of the particles that are attracted to one another from great distances. We actually also have, believe it or not, photos online of quantum entanglement. It actually has been observed scientifically. We just require more time, research, and patience right now. But what do you guys think of that, though? That it's actually quantum entanglement. I don't know if you're familiar with that idea, but it's basically where two particles are so attached to one another that it's almost like creating, say, like a wormhole almost, because information can travel through them instantaneously because they're so attached to one another. What do you think about the idea of that?
It removes the need for satellites for cell phones. I mean, I can say that much.
For sure. Well, I mean, like, do you think it's possible that we could find a way to constantly maintain like a certain state of the particle? Like I said, we have to know the state of the particles to get them to connect and transfer data to one another. And on top of that, theoretically, data has a weight to it, although it's very insignificant. Remember, like, dude, like within the theory of relativity and then quantum mechanics and things of that nature, like weight cannot become weightless. Mass cannot just go at the speed of light, because the speed of light has to require something that's massless. So, like, Stars, do you think that would still work in the future? Like, if we can find a way to make it work, do you think it's possible?
Yes, I do think it's possible.
Yeah, we just haven't discovered it yet.
Yeah, I think it's just like it's further down the line for us to get to, but I think it's definitely possible, and it's definitely a thing that we will be able to do eventually. But like I said before, like I don't think it's near future, but I think it is in our future.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever played the video game Mass Effect, that is in the entire trilogy. It does, if you read the lore in the game, it actually does explain quantum entanglement and the communications, where it's just instantaneous with holograms and things of that sort. I mean, what would be the first thing you would do if you had that power? Boom. Yeah, just the world at your fingertips, super high speeds. Like, I'm talking like beyond terabyte connections for internet.
For the internet?
Just for anything. Just for anything. Like, I mean, if you look at the way we live nowadays, everything involves some form of communication. We're using the internet right now to talk and discuss and record this. I mean, what would be the first thing you? I mean, you play a lot of video games and you watch a lot of movies and anime and TV. What would be one of the first things you would want to use? Like, if we had that speed of quantum mechanics, like, what would be the first thing you would be like ready to do?
I mean, all we're really talking about is just super fucking high speed internet at this point, right? We're not talking about anything super crazy.
I mean, I'm talking about super crazy. You could download like the entire human history of media and like
Oh,
instantaneously.
okay. Yeah, I don't really know. To be honest with you, I don't even really see myself like abusing that power too much. I mean,
No,
I don't
I
know.
mean,
Maybe I don't truly, I guess, understand it properly or something. I don't know. I don't really see myself like,
no, it is. I mean,
yeah,
it's
no,
kind of hard
I
to think
mean,
of. Like, you would have to be like a coder or something. I'm sure if you were a coder,
uh,
or you can make a program to run off that, like how much data it could process. Like you could.
yeah, I guess I would use it to slightly like travel the world. You know what I'm saying? Because imagine like what type of like Google Maps shit you got going
Oh man,
on.
with like a
Like you could
VR helmet.
probably like, that's what I'm saying. Like you could probably
Yeah.
straight take yourself like into wherever it is that you want to go and like you know walk around and actually see it. Like I mean, granted, not firsthand. You know, you don't get to smell the area, you know, the
You
culture and
know
like
what
meet the
though? It's like,
people and shit.
have you ever watched
But
Star Trek though? Like they have the hologram rooms, man. Or like some of
yeah,
the sci-fi
yeah.
TV shows. I What you're talking about kind of makes me think of that. Like, what if you just had a small little room where it just kind of everything changed?
I
That would
mean,
be pretty
yeah,
cool.
that would be very cool. I just didn't know we were talking about that type of speed. I thought you were just talking about like
Well, no, like I mean,
mostly
at the
like
same time, the speed also allows you to have insane resolutions as well.
yeah, yeah.
So we're talking almost like lifelike.
I guess that's a good point.
I didn't think of that though. I didn't think about Google Maps. I didn't think about like traveling the world or just cameras.
Yeah, because like to be honest with you, when you were talking about like the instant transmission type shit, like I was thinking like it would be really cool like to actually tour the world like and just instantly be there. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have to worry about the well, I guess it's safer to travel by plane than car nowadays, but like it's
Well, it
still
costs a
like you got
ton.
that.
If you
It
want to go
is. It's very, very
overseas,
expensive.
yeah, you want to go
Yeah,
overseas, it's
exactly.
thousands.
Yeah, yeah, it's very expensive. And with that being said, like, it would be very, very cool to not have to, like, cost of, you know, it's to pay for the cost of travel,
Oh
right?
yeah.
So I think it'd be really, really cool to be able to travel the world and just do different things, like, experience, like, imagine if you could go to like South America, right? And then like immediately get a taste for like Australian or like Chinese culture. You know what I'm saying? Like you're talking about two separate sides of the world, like just instantly.
Instantaneous.
And
Yeah.
yeah, like I think it'd be really cool to eat the food like actually from those places instead of getting like, you know, American representation. I mean, granted, you can go to restaurants that
Oh
like
yeah,
quote unquote
authentic.
or
Authentic.
yeah, yeah, but it's not like being
It's not
there
the
and
same
like
as getting the
experiencing the
sights and the
people
smells.
like and yeah, exactly, dude. And
Right.
that's what I'm saying. I feel like that would be the best part of travel in the world is truly experiencing different culture.
Well, at the same time, you could also use it to figure out where you want to go.
Well, yeah, that too, but
That'd be pretty cool. What about you, Stars? Well, I mean, same question for you. Like, what would be some of the first things you do had you had the access to something like this?
Download all porn.
Okay, see, I told you
Nah, I'm joking.
that's where
I'm
it's
joking.
going, man.
I would not. I would not do that. But I would. I mean, the only thing I think of like, I mean, like if we were colonizing like another planet, I'd probably like call everyone I could.
well, you definitely need some porn then.
Why would I need porn to call someone?
No, 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 no. I was colonizing the planet.
Huh, you could
Oh,
sell it. You would
no.
sell it.
Assuming you
We
don't
we went
go
over
there
this. I would
yourself.
not go to that planet. I would stay on
Yeah,
Earth.
yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
But I mean, I'm talking about calling the people. Like I would just call them because it would be instantaneous, like instant calling and stuff like that. But I mean, that's the only thing I would probably do. Other than that, I probably wouldn't do anything. I mean, other than we got time to like travel the world in a blink, and that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that has been another episode of Boredom Must Die. If you want to share any of your thoughts or opinions, you can always come over to Twitter. Link will be in the description. You can join the conversation with us. I appreciate your time. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it was entertaining and thought provoking. I hope you have a good rest of your day.